so much for watching or listening. So glad to have you here today. And of course, I'd love to have you subscribe. We have great content on this channel, on this platform. And of course, the jokes at the end certainly make it worth the subscription. Maybe. I'm saying that with a little bit of sarcasm. I'm excited to start a new series with you today. We're calling this one, I'm kind of looking at it in the ways of seeing Jesus in different facets. And I think this is really important for us to think about how, in what ways, in what lens, how do we see Jesus? And it's interesting because I think about this. I have a friend and she's very quiet and kind of a little bit withdrawn, definitely an introvert, doesn't like to talk out very much. And, you know, she's very meticulous and very fastidious about everything she does. She seems cautious, you know, and never like taking extra risks or anything like that. But I found out like a few years back that she likes to drive fast cars. And I was like, what? Like that came out of nowhere because it didn't really seem to fit this, you know, really meticulous, cautious person that I know. She likes to drive fast cars. And I was like, huh. So I remember talking with her about that and I was like, where did that come? Well, I don't know. I just really like it. And you could see she lights up when you talk about fast cars. And I think I'm bringing that to your attention because I think sometimes we can pigeonhole. We can pigeonhole not only people, our friends, who they are, what they do, what they're like, you know, all that. We think we know them. But I think sometimes we do that with Jesus. So I think sometimes we pigeonhole Jesus in this like little niche. And I want us to explore and think about what those niches or those little corners, maybe we painted Jesus into a corner. And it's possible that Jesus is a lot more than just the corner that we've painted him into. So thinking about that, there's the one I want to look at today is the whole consumer resource solution. Because I think a lot of people in Jesus' day and era painted him into the corner of a consumer. They were consumers and he could supply. He was free healthcare and he was free lunch, if you think about it. You're like, what do you mean by that? Well, a lot of people came to Jesus, and we can read about this in Mark 6, verse 56. It says, whenever he entered a village or city countryside, they were laying the sick in the marketplaces, imploring him that they could touch the fringe of his cloak, and as many as touched him were cured. And so a lot of people in Jesus' day and era saw him as, in essence, free healthcare or free healing. Free healing. Wherever he went, I mean, there's potential for free healing. And that's a really fantastic capacity of who Jesus is. Absolutely, definitely a healer, without a shadow of a doubt. Heals broken hearts. He heals our bodies. He can heal things from our past. He definitely is our healer. He can open blind eyes, deaf ears, raise lame people. He can heal from cancer. There's no healing that Jesus cannot do. Everything is possible. All things are possible to us who believe. And also at Jesus' time and era, people came to him for basically free lunch. You read about this in John 6, verses 25 and 26, and it says this, when they found Jesus on the other side of the sea, they said to him, Rabbi, when did you get here? And Jesus answered them and said, truly, truly, I say to you, you seek me not because you saw signs, but because you ate loaves, you had lunch, and you were filled. So he's kind of calling them out, and he's like, you know, you guys are chasing me because I fed you a meal. You got a free lunch. And I think Jesus absolutely can provide resources, finances, wisdom, opportunities, open doors, favor, lots of resources. And so if we look at Jesus as from just a consumer mindset, then we see Jesus as the answer for healing, for health, and these are good things, for finances, for resources, for favor. I mean, these are all very good things. This is absolutely, in part, who Jesus is. And maybe you're watching, listening today, and maybe you've seen Jesus or perceived Jesus more of just kind of a good teacher or an enlightened person. Maybe you've kind of perceived Jesus in just theological terms, references, or just spiritual kind of wisdom. maybe it's time to kind of switch up some of your perspective and consider that Jesus is also our healer and our provider. There's a lot of lenses that we can see Jesus through, but I think sometimes if we're not careful, those lenses can be constrictive and not completely accurate of the entirety of Jesus. So if you're watching, you're listening, I challenge you, let's kind of open up our perspective. If we've had that kind of narrow, niched perspective, painted Jesus in the corner of, a theology person or, spiritual, or he just came to forgive the sins of the world, these are all true. They're all valuable and legitimate perspectives on Jesus. But let's kind of broaden the lens and include Jesus as both our healer as well as our provider. So my question to you, and I'm going to ask this for you to think about this for a little bit. Who are you most comfortable seeing Jesus as? Are you most comfortable seeing Jesus as a theologian? Are you most comfortable seeing Jesus as a teacher? Are you most comfortable seeing Jesus as where you're like, he's the savior of the world? Right, and I get that, but what does that mean specifically to you? Well, he forgives my sins. Well, what specifically? So I'm asking you to kind of wrestle and get a little bit personal, because all of this is about a personal relationship with Jesus. So how are you most comfortable seeing Jesus? I'd like for you to answer that question. And of course, thank you for subscribing. It was fantastic that you did that. You might share this with your friends, because I think there will be some thought-provoking ideas in this series. You might want to have some conversation, discussion with some of your friends, neighbors, relatives, maybe a Bible study group, Sunday school, whatever. But also remember, hit the notification bell there, right there, because we'll keep you posted when we put up new content. And I know we're all very, very excited, I say dripping with sarcasm, for this fantastic joke at the end. I know, you're like, maybe it's fantastic. Okay, so here's your joke. I'm like scrolling through all kinds of great opportunities here. A bossy man goes into a bar and he orders everyone around. Get it? I know, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. But next week is gonna be way better. Thanks again.